Hitler's biggest mistakes that destroyed the Third Reich. By 1941, Germany seemed unstoppable. Poland had been conquered in just weeks. France fell in a matter of days. Most of Europe was under the control of the Third Reich. Many believed the outcome was already decided, that Germany would win the war. But just 4 years later, Berlin lay in ruins. The most powerful man in Europe was hiding in an underground bunker, and his empire was collapsing before his eyes. What happened? How did a nation that stood at the top of the world lose everything? The answer lies in a series of decisions made by one man. Today, we're going to examine the biggest mistakes Hitler made, mistakes that ultimately led the Third Reich to destruction. Mistake number 1: starting the war too soon. One of Hitler's earliest mistakes was believing Germany was ready for a global war. Yes, the German military was powerful, but the economy had not yet completed its rearmament program. Many military leaders believed Germany needed several more years of preparation. Hitler chose to act immediately. After the invasion of Poland, Britain and France declared war. A regional conflict suddenly became a world war. At that moment, Germany lacked the resources needed to fight several major powers at the same time for an extended period. But this was only the beginning. Mistake number 2: letting the British Army escape. In the spring of 1940, the British Army was trapped near the French port of Dunkirk. Hundreds of thousands of soldiers were pinned against the sea. Many German generals believed victory was only days away. Then something unexpected happened. Hitler ordered the advance to stop. Historians still debate the reasons behind this decision. The pause gave Britain enough time to launch a massive evacuation operation. More than 300,000 soldiers escaped. Those same soldiers would later return to the battlefield, and many would play a key role in Germany's eventual defeat. One pause, one decision, one enormous missed opportunity. Mistake number 3: invading the Soviet Union. On June 22, 1941, Operation Barbarossa began, the largest invasion in human history. More than 3 million German soldiers crossed into the Soviet Union. At first, the campaign looked like a complete success. German forces advanced rapidly. Hundreds of thousands of Soviet troops were surrounded and captured. But Hitler repeated the same mistake that Napoleon had made more than a century earlier. He underestimated the size of the country. He underestimated its industrial capacity, and he underestimated the Soviet Union's ability to continue fighting. As German forces pushed deeper into Soviet territory, supply lines grew longer. Fuel became scarce, vehicles broke down, and winter was approaching. A war that was supposed to be won in a few months turned into a long and devastating struggle of attrition. Mistake number 4: declaring war on the United States, December 1941. After Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, the United States entered the war against Japan. At that moment, Hitler made one of the most controversial decisions of the entire conflict. He voluntarily declared war on the United States. Now Germany faced the world's largest industrial powers simultaneously, the Soviet Union in the east, Britain in the west, and across the Atlantic, the economic giant of the United States. American factories began producing tanks, aircraft, ships, and weapons on a scale never seen before. What Germany could manufacture in a month, America could sometimes produce in days. The Third Reich had entered a war of resources it was unlikely to win. Mistake number 5: overruling his generals. As the war progressed, Hitler trusted his military commanders less and less. He increasingly made strategic decisions himself, even in areas where experienced generals possessed far greater expertise. One of the most famous examples was Stalingrad. When German forces faced encirclement, many commanders requested permission to withdraw. A retreat could have saved tens of thousands of soldiers. Hitler refused. He ordered them to hold their positions at all costs. The result was catastrophic. The German Sixth Army was surrounded and destroyed. For the world, Stalingrad became a symbol that Germany was no longer invincible. Mistake number 6. Believing in wonder weapons. As Germany's situation worsened, Hitler increasingly placed his hopes in so-called wonder weapons, advanced rockets, jet aircraft, experimental military technology. Some of these inventions were revolutionary, but they arrived too late. Instead of focusing resources on mass-producing proven weapons, Germany invested heavily in projects that could not change the outcome of the war. While engineers worked on technological breakthroughs, the Allies continued producing thousands of tanks and aircraft every month. Wars are not won by technology alone. They are won through resources, logistics, and time. And Germany was running out of all three. By the spring of 1945, Soviet forces had entered Berlin. The city was surrounded. The Third Reich was in its final days. The man who dreamed of building a 1,000-year empire was hiding in an underground bunker. His decisions had changed the lives of millions, but those same decisions ultimately destroyed the empire he had built. History reveals a powerful lesson. Great nations do not always fall because of the strength of their enemies. Sometimes they fall because of their own mistakes. And the more power concentrated in the hands of one person, the more costly those mistakes can become. The greatest defeats often do not begin on the battlefield. They begin the moment a terrible decision is made.